So what I'm going to do today is a little bit of a garden tour, plant tour, what I have planted, what things are going to look like. And I'm going to focus mostly on the lower walkway area that I worked on over the last couple months, because since I filmed the video, I planted quite a bit. And I'm going to show how that stuff is progressing and what the eventual layout is going to look like. So let's start actually over here. So along this side of the house, I've got bottle brush trees and then a row of hibiscus. So I took that row of hibiscus and I dug up a few of them and planted them down the side. So this is the property line where the rocks are. So the hibiscus are going to continue down there. So this will just be a hedge of hibiscus. And then on the left-hand side, I planted a few bougainvillea. So the bougainvillea will, again, I'll keep them fairly low, and they grow like mad here. They flower, they grow all season long, so that will very quickly fill in this area. And what I've done here actually is I've left an opening because I think eventually I want to have a little bit of a walkway to get back here so I can prune these hibiscus and possibly just plant some other stuff. There's sort of a lot of wasted area in here that I want to do something with, so that's sort of a future project that I haven't quite figured out yet. Okay, so the first tree here is a tangerine, and this is a named cultivar, Darcy, I believe. It's from a place around here in the Big Island in Hawaii called Plant It Hawaii. So that's where I got this. This was in Hilo for about a year and a half and just didn't do well. It was kind of overrun with vines and neglected a little bit, and it was also a little bit too wet there, I think, for it. So unpotted it, actually dug it up and just moved it back here, and as soon as I did, it kind of took off. Pruned it once, I'm going to prune it again pretty hard. But that, also the thing here, this will be a walkway so that I can access from three sides this plant. Alright, so let's come down. Alright, so along the wall here is the neighbor's wall, and the property line is basically 6 inches in from this wall. So along the property line I planted, that is a manila palm, and other than that all of these are Eureka palms. So these are golden cane palms, Eureka palms, and these are little small ones. I'll show what these, I have year-old versions of these around the yard, which I'll show in just a minute what this is going to turn into. But this will, in a year, this will be probably chest high, be as high as that, and in 4 or 5 years, this entire area will be this, where I'm standing right now, probably 8 feet above. 8 to 10 feet above, now probably, 10 feet above this wall. This will be completely enclosed by this, by these palms. This is actually going to get pretty shady, which I'll have to deal with, but good problem to have. Okay, so what I've done along this wall here is tried to plant a mix of ornamentals and edibles. So we have a bell pepper that my neighbor gave me. Where we are in Hawaii, this should be this should last a long time, maybe a few years if I take care of it. This is an unbelievably delicious Lima Bean. So these are the Lima Beans. It's a nice bush bean, so I don't have to trellis it. And we've been harvesting these. If you think you don't like Lima beans, grow one plant yourself, harvest them fresh, boil them for a few minutes, do what you're going to do, and it'll change your opinion. They're creamy and amazing. This is a zucchini, which we're having quite a bit of problems with our zucchinis. There's just getting so much mildew. So I pull these leaves off sometimes. It doesn't really seem to help. So I get a couple of small zucchinis off of each plant, and then they just succumb. So this guy I pulled maybe 4 or 5 small ones off yesterday. They were good. If I get 10 off of this, that's great. I'm not really watering these. Okay, so now we get to collard green, harvest from this basically every day. But this is a kale. And again, we harvest from all 3 of these guys every day. So it's a collard, kale, and collard. So the main players, though, in this hillside are the figs. So there are 4 fig trees. This fig is white Cadota. It's just a really, really aggressive, healthy grower here. And then there's a line, the other element here is there's a line of red tea, cordyline, that's sort of a theme on all the walkways. And so that is lining this bed. So here's another fig. This is black mission fig. Another zucchini, more tea, another fig. This is an LSU purple. And then the final is, this is a Celeste fig. And then there's a couple of odds and ends. So here is sage, so seed grown. Just put it in, don't water it, leave it alone, and it's as healthy as can be. And this has really only been in the ground for, I don't know, most of this stuff has only been in the ground for 2 months maybe. And it's all just gone crazy. And then this is a Goji Berry, so kind of a vining plant. I had this in a pot for about a year while I figured out a place to put it, and it just turned into this vine. And then as soon as I put it in the ground, all of this new growth came up. So pretty happy with that. And then I'm growing 4 different varieties of University of Hawaii tomatoes. So this is Cavallo, and these are bred, and I've grown them. They're bred for Hawaii. They're resistant to some diseases and some other problems, and I've had extremely good success, but I haven't done a really careful job of keeping them labeled, and then I just get a bunch of fruit and eat it and kind of forget what's what. So I've kind of separated them better this time. This is Cavallo, and I'll show a few others. This is green gold avocado, a named variety from Planet Hawaii. I wanted this plant for maybe 5 years and finally found one. And so really excited about this. It's supposed to be a really high quality fruit that's high in oil content. So looking forward to that. Here's another sad zucchini. It looked good for a little while and then got some fungus or mildew and it's going downhill, so it is what it is. I'm just gonna let it live its life, and if I can get anything off of it, I will. Not much to show here, but a seed grown chili. And then here's the staircase that I just finished. So gabion steps over there, walkway, and then another staircase up to the top. But what I'm going to do is continue down this walkway. So I wanted to show this because you can see here the Eureka Palms, and these Eurekas are a year old, and so they're 4.5 feet tall, and that is this sort of intensity is what's going to happen on the other side, and this is just kind of starting. And then this guy, there is a guy hidden in here. This is Hialani. And I'm going to show quite a few videos on these as they progress. Last year I had so many tomatoes from these plants, it was outrageous. And then Anahu. So that's 4 different varieties. There is a cherry tomato, which I have some of. I don't have them in this area. This area of plants here is Pohinahina, which at some point I'll probably film a video on how I grew these, because these are Pohinahina are a pretty amazing plant, and they can be invasive in certain areas, but they are native to Hawaii. So I think that will conclude this little tour of what's going on in this lower walkway area. I'm going to do a few other videos to show some other areas. Some pretty dense plantings. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's what I'm passionate about, and I think what a lot of other people are passionate about. So if you stuck through this long, I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the tour, and more to come. Thank you. Bye-bye.